Welcome back everybody to my channel, Website Plex. Today's video, I wanted to do one on how to start a web hosting business in 2021. It's a little bit different than the video I made a few years ago on how to start a web hosting business because things have changed. But relatively speaking, they're the same, but there's a few details that are different, and I don't want you guys to fall behind on that if you're starting a web hosting business this year. So, first thing you're gonna do is you're gonna think of a domain name that basically either starts or ends in hosting or web hosting or host. Very important. The reason why is the Google search engines still calculate part of the domain when matching up certain keywords. So you're gonna wanna have whatever kind of name you come up with, host or web hosting. I know that's contradictory to our own domain, Website Plex, but understand we registered this domain in 2008 when we were building websites and selling websites. And what had happened was we evolved from building websites to becoming a web host. So there's a little bit of, I guess, because we started back then and we were basically website builders, we were trying to attract websites. So people who wanted to buy websites. But we have a following, so that's why we decided to go ahead and keep that name. Anyways, getting back to your project, starting a web host in 2021 and growing it successfully. So take some time, spend some time, see which domain names you like. You can use a search tool on websiteplex.com to see which domains are available for registration. Once you do find that domain, and of course it may not be the exact one you want because we all want, webhosting.com. Someone already has that, and if they were to sell it, they'd probably sell it for, who knows, $500,000 or more. But when you do find your domain, the next thing you're gonna want to do is find a reseller account. Don't go with a VPS, don't go with a dedicated server, and the reason why I suggest you not go with those right away is because A, you're gonna have to maintain them, B, they cost more, and C, you don't need it, you could scale up. Also, don't just get a regular web hosting account because that's not gonna allow you to create additional web hosting accounts that you can have your clients log in and access. So go with a reseller account. Register your reseller account at websiteplex.com. We'll help you with all your questions and needs. If you're struggling with your clients, we'll help you with your clients. No big deal. Just open up a ticket. So register your reseller account with Website Plex, or if you have a favorite host that you love and adore, go register with them. Just be sure they're willing to A, give you a true reseller account with additional cPanel logins, and B, that they'll go ahead and help you with that. So now you have your domain, you have your reseller account. Third thing you're gonna need is your website. You need a fairly simple, easy to use website. You don't need anything complicated. You're gonna have people from all over the world where English is not their first language. So you're gonna wanna have images, you're gonna, pictures say 1,000 words in many languages. So you're gonna want to not have a website full of, say, if English is your primary location, you're gonna wanna have something that's really easy to understand. Because I know for example, with our web host, if you look at, if you analyze our traffic, it comes from all over the world. It's not just from the United States and England. There's Latin America, there's Europe, there's Asia, Middle East. There's a lot of places, a lot of people, and a lot of our clients come from all over the world. So you're gonna wanna find a website or a website template that can support multiple language but is easy to understand and read. Now, On that website, you're going to need something called a billing system. I know when we started web hosting in 2008, we started without a billing system. We just basically had people subscribe using the PayPal checkout. A little bit antiquated. Not everybody has PayPal. Some people are going to want to pay with a credit card, which is fine. You could use a free shopping cart type billing system, or you can use a paid one. If you're just starting out and you don't have a big client base, go with a free one. Attach a free merchant account. Where do you get the free shopping cart and free merchant account? Well, if you have your reseller account with WebsitePlex, then you will get a shopping cart function, software, CRM, and you'll get a billing system where you can accept credit cards all free of charge. Of course, you can use any shopping cart and any merchant account paid as well. So choice is up to you, whether you have one or not. It's there, it's free of charge. With WebsitePlex, use it. Now, you have your domain, you have your website, you have your way to collect payments through your merchant account and shopping cart. Wonderful, you tie it all together. If you don't know how to tie it all together, ask your web host to show you. Once that's all tied together, now you're ready to go into business. You've already set up your plans on your website. How much are you going to charge? Don't try to be expensive. Nobody knows who you are. You're new in the market. Don't give your stuff away either, because that people will assume it's not going to be quality. And there's a lot of people out there that prefer to spend a few dollars more to get something that has quality. People this day and age are smart enough to know if you're offering an unlimited plan for $2 a year, either you're going to go out of business or you have so many clients on your account that your account's not going to be stable and overpopulated. So try to find a happy medium in your pricing. I probably would go, if you're just starting out, nobody knows who you are, go about 20-30% cheaper than, say, what you see on our website. That should be a good indication, a good starting point for you. And what you can do once you develop a client base, as you grow in the next year or 2 years or whatnot, go ahead and steadily raise your prices, but for new clients. Don't raise your pricing for your old clients. Raise them for your new clients. Two things happen. One, your long-term existing clients will see, wow, your prices went up, value is going up, but you didn't raise me. Wow, I'm getting a great deal. So that's a good strategy to keep those long-term customers really long-term. So now you have your website, your domain, your billing system, your reseller account. Great. How are you going to market? How are you going to get your name out there? Well, are you going to pay an advertising company? Are you going to use Google AdWords? What are you going to do? Well, start with the free ways. Obviously, it's easy to say, sure, word of mouth, go to restaurants, ask them about their website. Best way to do it is just go ahead and post in web forums, such as WEBHOSTING Talk. There's a few other ones. I know years ago I used to post in Digital Point, still post in WEBHOSTING Talk. There, be sure you set up your signature. Your signature is where on the bottom you'll see a spot where you can put a backlink to your website and a little description. Make sure that is done and complete. So every time you post in the forum, you open up a new thread, you reply to people's questions, your signature is always showing up. I think on my web hosting talk forum, I might have maybe 1,800 posts, but granted, this is over 10 years. Do I post as much as I should? No. Should I post more? Yes. But it is what it is, and it worked. It got me a lot of customers. It still gets me customers. And what's interesting is stuff that I posted even 5 years ago. When I look at the stats on our website, oh, where did this customer come from? What link did he click? How did he find our website? Oh, wow, he found it on this post I made back in, 2017, 2016. Wow, that's great. So it's kind of like planting seeds You're not going to get your fruit right away, but you just keep planting seeds, and eventually you're going to have a bunch of trees giving you a lot of fruit. And that's how it works with posting in forums. It's free, but you put in the work and you gotta wait. I'd rather do that than spending hundreds or thousands of dollars and see if it really converts or not. And in most cases, paid advertising, you don't see immediate results. So you're gonna be shelling out a lot of money, and more times than not, you're gonna be assuming it's not gonna work, and you're gonna throw in the towel and give up. So do post in forums, use all the free mediums to reach clients out there. Another great one is YouTube. Open up a YouTube channel. Talk about web hosting. Talk about what you know. Don't make it too salesy. Don't try to push stuff down people's throats, selling them this or saying we're the best, blah, 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 because nobody's going to subscribe to your channel. No one's going to have interest. Who subscribes to advertisements? Nobody. Now, if you're putting out content that's useful and helpful, and that's what I strive to do with this channel that actually helps people into the web hosting industry based on my experience over the past 13 years, that's content that people will find useful and they'll subscribe to. This channel's been steadily growing, and I've gotten quite a bit of business from it. So, and it's free to open up a YouTube channel. You just have to make videos. You have to like the camera. Go ahead and buy yourself a ring light for $30, $40. Use your cell phone like I'm using my cell phone. And I don't know, put some LED lights behind your computer. And there you have your little studio. It's not a lot of money. For under $50, you can have your own YouTube studio, and it's a free way to market. It's a free way to get out there. People will see you. I'd much rather be doing this than knocking on doors or calling people, doing stuff people used to do in the 1980s. Yeah, I'm old enough for that. and I do remember that. So what I just told you should give you a pretty good start. What happens when your reseller account gets full, and that's what happened with us. I started out with a reseller account and it got rather full rather quick. I went to a VPS, and the VPS was pretty much maybe a month and a half, and I had to get out of the VPS and into a dedicated server. And I remember going into that dedicated server being nervous, like, wow, I have this server and it's costing me $200 a month. This web host is maybe making me $100 a month. I'm losing money. What if I don't get more clients? I know I've been getting clients, but what if it stops? I'm stuck with a dedicated server that costs me $200 a month that I'm making $100 a month on. I remember being scared about like, wow, I hope I don't get myself in a rut like this, because you don't know. You can count the dots backwards, but you can't count the dots forward. You don't know what's going to happen. You can only look back. So I remember doing it, and it was a disaster. I remember I ordered I'm not going to mention the data center, but I ordered the server from a data center, and it was up. And as I was transferring accounts, luckily DNS wasn't switched over to the server, so no one knew it. Friggin' hard drive goes. The hard drive just goes right out on the server. So in a way that was good, because it prompted me to look into, modifying the solution. Well, if you get a server, make sure you're running a RAID 1 at least, where there's a second hard drive mirroring that information. So when one hard drive goes, and these weren't SSDs, these were mechanical drives. So when one drive goes, you have the other drive running. And mechanical drives, when you're using them 24 hours a day, 7 days a week to host websites, they go. It's not if, it's when they go. So I learned quickly, and luckily none of my clients had to learn with me, but I learned that, when you get a dedicated server, you're going to want RAID with a mirrored drive, meaning you're running two drives simultaneously. So lo and behold, the server did fill up, and I ended up going to 2 servers, 3 servers, and kept growing from there. Eventually I had to get outsourced support which was a disaster. I outsourced support from, I'm trying to remember the name, but I think it was out of India or whatnot. They sounded good. They weren't that cheap, but the results weren't the same. Everyone wanted me to help them. They didn't want my support to help them. So that wasn't a good thing. Quickly got rid of that and made some changes. So long story short, you're going to have questions. You're going to have a lot of questions, which is normal. I had a ton of questions. Luckily, when I was learning this business back in 2008, hosting, because I knew everything about not everything, but I knew quite a bit about websites, but not about hosting. Luckily, I had a web host that gave me a hand. So I'm paying it forward, or paying it back. I'm not sure what it's called. But either how, I'm going to do the same thing what was done for me and help those who are getting into this industry to help them succeed like I had succeeded with it. Aside from that, please, any questions you have, don't send them to me privately because I do want everyone to learn. Post them down below in the comments area. That way I can go ahead and respond to them in a public manner where not only you, but others can learn as well. Because there's probably 100 other people with the same question that you may have that may have not posted to, just haven't asked. So other than that, thank you so much for watching. This is how you're going to go ahead, how to set up a web hosting business in 2021. It still works for me today. I still do it. And other than that, have a great day. Thank you so much for watching. See you next time. Bye.